Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk Star Collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Today, we're going to take a look at the Vanguard box set for the Soulblight Gravelords. In this video, we're going to go through the contents of the Vanguard box set, talk about all the units that come inside said box set, before having a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase. We'll then finally finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points using the box contents as the core for that force to hopefully give you some inspiration for starting your own Soulblight Gravelords army using the Vanguard box set. And so, to start with, first of all, we have the hero that leads this box set, and that is the Vampire Lord. Now, the Vampire Lord is a fun little character. First of all, for a foot hero, 5 attacks, 3s and 3s to hit and wound with Ren 1 damage 2 is pretty okay. It's also a 1 cast and 1 unbind wizard with 5 wounds and a base 3-up save, which is nice. Crimson Feast is a cool ability. Once per turn at the start of the combat phase, you can pick a friendly Soulblight Gravelord summonable unit that is wholly within 12 inches of this unit and simply add one to their attacks characteristic, though you can't stack multiple Vampire Lord's abilities onto the same unit. On top of this model can also fly with its movement, and it's got the Hunger ability, which is where it can heal wounds based on how many it actually kills. Now, joining this, you have a battle line unit, which is the Death Rattle Skeletons. You have 20 of them in this box set. This can be built as either a single unit or as 2 units of 10, which is the minimum unit size requirement for the Death Rattle Skeletons. Now, Death Rattle Skeletons are going to provide you with a decent troop choice as well, to really just get you started on your way. Your ancient weapons are 1 attack, 4s and 3s, no rend damage 1, though you do get a point of rend if you ever outnumber the enemy unit that you're attacking. On top of that, at the start of the combat phase, thanks to their scheduled Legion rule, you'll roll a dice for each slain model in this unit, and on 4-up, that unit will have one of its slain models return. So they're really good at the attrition fight. At the start of the combat phase, being able to come in, it stops your opponent trying to just chip away a few wounds on them with, meaningless shooting. Half of those models are going to get back up. Now, looking into the 2 elite options we get for this, first of these can actually be battle line in particular sub-factions, and so can the second one as well. Both these units can be battle line by various means, though neither are battle line pure. The first of these are the Blood Knights, which are a really fantastic unit to bring to the tabletop. So, Blood Knights have 3 wounds each, a 3+ save. They're going to have 3 attacks with their Templar Lance or Templar Blade, with 3s and 3s to hit and wound, Ren -2 damage 1. Though they will get some extra damage there on their Martial Fury, they add 1 to the damage characteristic of their melee weapons if they made a charge move in the same turn, though this doesn't apply to the Mounts weapons, which is going to put in 3 attacks at 4s and 4s, no rend damage 1. On top of that, they've got the Hunger, so they can heal just like your Vampire Lord by killing enemy models, and the Riders of Ruin special rule means models in this unit can pass over other models with a wounds characteristic of 3 or less as if they had the Fly special rule for the purpose of movement, and when they do so on a 2+, the enemy unit will also suffer D3 mortal wounds, which is pretty cool. Lastly, we have Varghast, 12-inch move Fly, 4 wounds each, 5+ save that you would expect. And then you've also got 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2. They also have the cool ability of Blood Maddened Frenzy, where each time they would roll a 6 to hit, they inflict 2 wound rolls instead of just 1. They've got the Hunger, like all vampiric units, to heal. And then Death's Descent means you can keep this unit off the table at the start of the game as well and bring it on as a reserve. So a nice, useful utility unit that actually can pack quite a punch as well. And so, looking at where to go next, looking at some of the other battle line options is certainly a good place to start. And for me, the one I really like are the Deadwalker Zombies. Now, Deadwalker Zombies are, like I said, a pure battle line option unit you can bring to the table. A 6+ save and 1 wound doesn't sound like a much, but you do get 20 of them for 115 points, which is dirt cheap. Funnily enough, they come out of the dirt, so probably why they're dirt cheap. Now, they do have some cool rules. So, first of all, drag down and torn apart. Roll a dice each time a model in this unit is slain by an attack made with a melee weapon. On a 5+, the attacking unit would suffer a mortal wound back, which is pretty cool. And the Newly Dead, at the end of the combat phase, you can roll a dice for each enemy model that was slain by wounds caused by this unit's attacks in that phase. For each 2+, you can add 1 Deadwalker Zombie to this unit. So they can potentially do mortal wounds when they go down and die, but they also have the ability to bring enemy models into their unit as they kill them, which is pretty cool. Now, joining them, we can have a Corpse Cart, which is one of the buff pieces they have. First of all, you can choose with a Corpse Cart to have either the Shaishan Relic of the Balefire Brazier or it can have the Unholy Lodestone. The Unholy Lodestone will give you +1 to your casting roll for Soulblight Gravelords wizards within 12, or the Baleful Brazier will be subtract 1 from casting rolls for enemy wizards within 12 inch of it. Either way, you're going to get the Locus of Undeath, where if the unmodified wound roll for an attack made by a friendly Deadwalker Zombies unit hold within 12 inch of this, will be on a 6 to hit. That attack causes 1 mortal wound to the target in addition to any other damage it inflicts, which is really, really nice. Can really buff up those zombie units and help them actually bring mortal models back, because these mortal wounds, unlike the sort of drag down and torn apart rule, will actually be attack based damage, which means they'll be able to potentially roll to bring models back. Now, joining the Corpse Cart and Zombies, we have the Deadwalkers, or rather the Death Mage's wizard, that is the Necromancer. A 1 cast and Unbind gets access to the Necromancer lore, which is probably the better of the 2 Soulblight Gravelords wizard lore. Undead minions means this model, if it's near any summonable units, can actually palm its wounds off onto them that get suffered. And Van Hell's Dance Macabre is a really fun spell. Casting value 6, range of 18, successfully cast, you pick a friendly summonable Gravelords Soulblight unit within range and visible to cast on within 3 inches of enemy units, and that unit can immediately fight in that hero phase. So really cool extra attacks coming out. Now lastly, we do have a fairly decent amount of good wizards within a Soulblight Gravelords force. I think looking at some of the endless spells can be a really great way to make use of this. You've got some good wizards in there, you've got the ability to get extra casts. Vampires generally don't have the best lore, in all honesty, so having an endless spell in there, even a cheaper one, something like Suffocating Gravetide, or even, you know, some movement penalty ones like the Soul Snare Shackles, or something from the Forbidden Power set, potentially like the Shards of Valor, could be really useful options to take. And so here we have our sample Armulus. Now, we've gone for the subfaction Legion of Night. I really like their Allegiance ability that you're going to get, the special battle trait rule you get for this subfaction. Once per turn during the enemy charge phase, you can effectively countercharge with one of your units that's not already in combat. This is a fantastic ability and can really swing fights in your favor if your opponent gets into places you don't want them to get into. Now, we've got the grand strategy, Lust for Domination, which is just trying to control the table some more. Generally, if you're already winning your game, this should be a grand strategy that you're already trying to do. So what this does is wanting you to control the grave sites on the table as if they were objectives, you know, and generally you're putting them in advantageous spots for you. So generally they should be easy to control. With Triumph, we are 10 points under, so we've gone Inspired. If there's any chance we get it, it's a good Triumph to have. Now, our leader will be the Vampire Lord, who's going to have the command trait Unbending Will. What Unbending Will does is models in friendly Legion of Night summonable units, so this will be our Deadwalker Zombies skeletons, will count as 2 models instead of 1 for the purposes of controlling objectives within 12 inches of this general. This is super powerful. Now, we then also go on Lore of the Vampires. Soul Pack is probably my favourite spell in that lore. Your opponent, when they charge you, potentially suffers some mortal wounds if they do so. And then we've also got an aspect of the champion for Leadership of the Alpha. This is allowing us to use 3 of the same command once per game at the same time for a single command. It can be really useful, some much needed rallies and stuff like that, or in a turn where we're in lots of combats, a good turn of all-out attack, etc. We then have the Necromancer, who's going to have our artifact, which is Morbeg's Claw. Effectively, if this model is not in combat, it can choose not to move at all and get +2 to its casting rolls. And we've also got Fading Vigor, which is -1 attack. Next up, we have Battle Lines. So we've got 2 units of 20 models. The first is the Deadwalker Zombie. The other are the Death Rattle Skeletons, which are reinforced by being in a unit of 20. But because we are Legion of Night as well, the Vargheist will become Battle Line as well. We then have 5 Blood Knights and the Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone for an additional +1 to cast, meaning that Necromancer can get +3 to cast. And then we've gone the Suffocating Gravetide, which I think is a really underestimated endless spell. Everything here is wrapped up in a battle regiment for a 1-drop force, 83 wounds on the table, which is really decent for this points value of 1,000, 990 points out of 1,000, 1 reinforced unit, 1 drop, no allies taken. If you've got some ideas for the starter set, for the Vanguard box set, for the Soulblight Gravelords, and starting an army with them, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment letting us know what you enjoyed about the video down in the comments below. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description for you to come join. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, link down in the video's description as well are the best ways to help support the channel. This can either be by grabbing some merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores, or by grabbing some product from one of our many channel sponsors, which are linked down in the video's description as well, like Baron of Dice. Or you can join our Patreon or YouTube members, the best ways to help support the channel. If you do so, you'll get a fantastic little shout out at the end of the video, like all these amazing people, our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Cure Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Colorblind Magic, Grimscald, Andy C, and our YouTube members: Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, Davis Weir, James Tillman, Gargamel196, Disco, and John Castle. Special thank you to all of you for helping support the channel and your continual support, and a massive special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and for everyone who helps make the channel do what it's able to do, whether that's coming on for battle reports or indeed the amazing people that help run our Discord and live streams as well. Thank you all once again for your support. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.